Okay, this video is about how to fade in, and when you die, you go to the end screen, but it will blink red. So let me show you the fade in first here. See how it faded in there? And then when you go play the game, see how it flashed red? So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, with GameMaker 8.1, there is a way to just fade it in by going to your rooms here, and then you can do a transition here, and you have all these effects you could do. But in GameMaker Studios, you don't have that option. None of these options are available. You have to do them using code to do that. So I'm going to show you how I did it without using this transition effect in GameMaker 8.1. Okay, so what I have here is I have a big object that's black here, and you can see it do an animation here where it fades in. So it's showing, it's starting to be transparent here with this black, and then it's starting to get more transparent, and then more transparent, and then it's completely transparent. So it's just the animation I did with just taking one image and copying it. You just click on this, and you copy and paste another image in there. Then you double click on it, and then you want to go to your transparency here, or actually under image, go to optimize opacity, and you just want to basically lower it down, and then press OK, and then you want to save it out, and then do the same thing for the next image. So you basically just take the first black image and copy it several times, and then like the first one's black, and so I have like maybe 4 black images, and then the fifth image, I know it says image 3 there, but I think it starts out with image 0. So maybe there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's 4 black images. The fifth one, I double clicked on the black image and went into the image area, and then went into the opacity and lowered the opacity down to look like this. And then I copied this one several times, and then I went to the fourth image, and I double clicked it, and then did the same thing with the image, optimize or opacity, and then lowered the opacity down even more, and then saved it out. So that's all I did. And so then I had an animation of it, moving from one frame to the next until it came to be invisible. So I did it great. Did alarm 0, then did 10 milliseconds. Alarm 0 kicks in, and then it's going to be destroyed. Now with GameMaker Studio, what you could do is instead of having a large image, because this image is 1070 in width and height is 700. It's the same height size as my actual game, but it is reduced down when I'm filming this on my camera here, because otherwise it's going to be too big on the computer screen. But it's going to be 1070 by 700. So that's the width of my game. So that's the width of this black image here. Now in GameMaker Studios, you could have a very small square image to keep your file size down, and then with GameMaker Studios you could drag it out in the corner and drag it out and scale it out. So you could have a small black box like 50 by 50, 50 width, 50 height, and then you could do the animation, of course, in that small box, and then when you place it in your room, you could drag it out to scale it to the width of the width and height of your game, and that will save space in GameMaker Studios. But in GameMaker 8.1, you're not able to scale the image out. It doesn't give you the option to do that. So you actually physically have to make it the width of your room in your game. Okay, so that's how you do the fade in, and the depth's at -2000 because you want it in front of your buttons. You want your buttons in the back. My buttons are depth at -50, so you want to have your screen way in front of everything else. And that's it. That's how you do this. It's just an object image, and you just animate it, and then you put a timer on it. So with 10 milliseconds, that's enough time for it to fade in one time and then be destroyed. It won't flicker. So you'll have to adjust it to your liking. So depending on how many images you want, if you want it to fade in really slowly, then you would have to have a lot more images. But then you would have to change your alarm setting to maybe 20 milliseconds or something instead of 10. Mine comes in pretty quickly, so I put mine at 10 milliseconds. If I go any higher than 10 milliseconds, it's probably going to repeat, where the animation is going to repeat again. It's going to go back to the black and then fade back in again, and so I got it just right where it fades in one time and that's it, and it's destroyed. So you have to play around with the numbers here to get it to your liking, so it animates only one time, it doesn't repeat, and then it gets destroyed. Okay, so that's the fade in part. The destroy part is all it is is blinking, so it's the same size as my fade in, the width and height. But in this situation, it's just blinking back and forth. So I got one solid red image, and it only has what, 1, 2 images of the solid red, and then it has one image of the opacity of the red. So I lower the opacity on the second, like the third image here, so it does the blink, and it's going to continue to blink until after 10 milliseconds. And then it's going to be destroyed. So I could make it 5 if I wanted to. It doesn't really matter because it's going to blink. It's not a big deal with the blinking. The fade in, that's a big deal. So you want it to animate one time and stop and be destroyed. But with the blinking, it's normal to have it blink more than once. If you wanted to, it looks normal. But if you want to make that 5 milliseconds, you can do that and make it destroy, so it probably only blink once and then show the message of game end. Or if you want to keep blinking several times and then destroy and then do game end, that's fine too. It's up to you. Same thing, depth is -2000, and that's pretty much it. Like I said, with GameMaker Studio, you could have the object square 50 by 50 or 30 by 30, whatever, and you do the animation, of course, with the small image, and then when you place it in your room, you would just scale it out. So with this object fade here, I didn't show you this, but at the beginning is right here. So when I drag this, whoops, I got the wrong image here. See, so I have this black big image object, which is the size of the game, and I delete that, and it shows you what it's hiding. So it's hiding all this information right here, because the depth is minus 2000, so it's going to be in front of this information right here. Same thing applies with the game end. It's the same thing. It hides the information, and it's showing game over. See? So that's how you do it. And like I said, with GameMaker Studios, you would have a small, like a flat 50 by 50 block, and you could scale it out by just holding down your mouse, and you can scale it out to the size of your game, and you can save space with GameMaker Studios. But with GameMaker 8.1, you can't do that. You can't scale it out. Alright, well, thanks for watching.